Greetings and welcome back to the channel. Guys, I think it's time to talk about the watermark system, or the high watermark system as it's called. Um, if you're a level 60 in New World, you know what that is. If not, here's a short introduction. So, beginning at level 60, all items that will drop from mobs and bosses will be at a gear score of 500, right? And then every time you drop the same item, be it a hammer or a gauntlet or a hat, every time the same item type drops, you have a chance to increase that gear score, and the game keeps track of that gear score internally and tries to up that every time. Not every time, but it tries to up the gear score on the drops that you're getting over time. So uh, that way you can like grind your way up to like technically a 600 gear score watermark. The problem with that is there's no guarantee for the gear score actually going up. It's very slow, and you as a player don't have a lot of control over it. So this is a proposal. I think we should change the watermark system to the following system. I will break this down, and I think this system makes a lot more sense because first of all, it's faster, it's more straightforward, and it puts a little bit of control into the hands of the player, and I think that is actually needed. So let's get right into it. I will put this up on screen so you guys can, visualize that a little bit better. So, but starting at, level 60, starting at 500 gear score, every time an item type drops, the watermark will increase by 5 points. Every time, guaranteed. Which means after 10 times, your watermark for that specific item is going to be 550. At 550, the increase is only going to be 4 gear score per drop, up to 5 times, and that brings you up to 570, right? At 570, the increase is only going to be 3 gear score per drop, up to 7 times. So after 7 times, you're going to be sitting at 591 gear score. And at 591, your increase is only going to be 1 gear score per drop, up to 9 times until you reach the maximum of 600. What this does, first of all, it's way more straightforward because you have a guaranteed increase. Every time a hammer drops, it's going to be a 5 gear score higher until you reach the 550, and it's going to be 4 gear score higher until you reach the 570. Then it's going to be 3 gear score higher every time you get it until 591, and then from there until the maximum is reached, only 1 gear score. What that does is it allows you to get to a usable level, which is 550, pretty quick here. After 10 times looting an item, you'll be sitting at, the halfway mark between 500 and 600, which means that you don't have to do a whole lot of grinding until you can get a weapon that is pretty okay. It's not great, but I think a 550 weapon is more than okay in most cases. So that means you can get a drop that actually does something for your build quicker, but after that it slows down significantly. And getting to 600 still takes some time, but it is much more manageable, I think. So, and it kind of keeps you going because every time you get a drop, it will be a guaranteed increase, and you know exactly how much it will increase. So that just allows you to calculate a little bit better, and it just keeps you more motivated because nothing is more, I don't know, frustrating than getting the same drops over and over again and the gear score doesn't increase. You know exactly, you found a gauntlet, like a glove 2 days ago that had a higher gear score. So your watermark should be higher, but you still get drops that are lower than that. It really is annoying. So I feel like having a guaranteed increase should definitely help with that. And I think it makes sense because people don't want to grind months and months just to get a decent set of gear together. It's still going to require a decent amount of grind. Don't get me wrong. This system is not going to take the grind away, but it makes the grind more straightforward. It makes it more structured. and it gives you just a better idea of where you're going and how long this is roughly going to take you. So, but that's not all that I want to suggest here. Another thing that I want to suggest is we should put a little bit more control into the hands of the player when it comes to which items they're getting. So I would suggest two different kinds of supply chests. One has a higher chance of dropping armor items, and the other supply chest has a higher chance of dropping weapons. And they're clearly named like that. You could name this armor supply chest, elite armor supply chest, weapon chest, elite armor weapon supply chest, whatever. Just give it a clear name so people know what to expect when they open this chest. And they can, if let's say they have good armor, but they want to get better gear. Like, let's say a new weapon came out, like the Void Gauntlet, right, last week, and they want to grind up the Void Gauntlet. So they're going to be like looking for weapon chests specifically. So by offering that change, they can like specifically go to a spot where they know they can find weapon chests, and they will open them, and that would give them a better chance of actually getting the weapon that they want and increasing the gear score on that. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Another thing that I want to suggest is having drops from enemies that make more sense. Like, killing mages in the game should have a higher chance of dropping light armor and mage weapons. Archers and musketeers should have a higher chance of dropping medium armor and bows and muskets, and like other kind of like dexterity weapons. Tanks, of course, have a higher chance of dropping heavy armor pieces and sword and board and hammers, and more the tanky kind of weapons, because then you can kind of target specific mobs for the kind of item that you want. If you know you're going to be a tank for your group, you want to be tanking dungeons, you're just going to seek out these heavy armored tank NPCs, and you're going to farm them for a little bit for a higher chance of getting the heavy armor pieces that you need, for a higher chance of getting the sword and board and the hammer that you need. So I think that makes a lot of sense. It puts some control into the hands of the player. They still have to do some grinding, but they can kind of direct a little bit where the grind is going, and it makes it a little faster. It is definitely going to remove a lot of the frustration from the system. Where you feel like you have no control over anything. You don't know what drops. You don't know how high the increase is going to be, if there's going to be an increase at all. So I think this alleviates a lot of the issues. And Amazon, I highly suggest you look into this, because I think this could be the solution. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. That's my proposal. I hope you liked it. I hope you find this useful. I hope this gives you like an idea on how to approach things, fix things. And yeah, that's all I have, guys. If you like this, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with another video soon. Take it easy. Bye.